Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Gilliston Heights residents breathed a sigh of relief last night as the main access road into their suburb reopened. Thousands of people who live there have been stranded for 9 days due to flooding. A pilot vehicle helped drivers navigate the road. However, Cessnock Road at Testers Hollow remains closed, as does the New England Highway through Maitland, with drivers being asked to use the High Street to Flat Road alternative route. Coal trains have resumed on the Hunter Valley line overnight after major flooding last week. The Australian Rail Track Corporation says restoration work has been carried out on some parts of the track. The closure of the network for more than a week has stopped around 1,500 trains. The corporation says getting coal to power stations is the first priority, with grain and freight trains due to resume this weekend. It's expected passenger services will resume next week. After 3 years of false starts due to COVID, the V8 supercars look set to return to Newcastle's east next year. Supercars Australia has put forward a proposal for the city to host the season opener in March after Newcastle lost the season-ending race to Adelaide. The company is keen for the Newcastle 500 to continue beyond next year, with talks underway to hold the event here for the next 4 years. Hunter residents have this weekend to go and grab a free flu shot before the state government program comes to a close. It's hoped the 2-week extension of the program is enough to encourage higher vaccination rates ahead of what's expected to be a bumper flu season. Hunter GP Association Secretary Lee Fong says influenza is a serious disease at any age.
Those over the age of 65 are actually the ones who are most likely to be admitted to hospital if they present with influenza. Anecdotally, people getting influenza are often getting very sick, and I can vouch from that from my own experience. I've had 2 teenage children, both getting influenza A. Both had really high fevers and needed about 2 weeks off school.
The Hunters Westpac rescue helicopter has flown a man to the John Hunter Hospital after a serious motorbike crash on a property at Corinda in the state's northwest. The chopper was called to the local hospital yesterday to transfer the 35-year-old who'd suffered serious neck injuries, including a deep laceration. A critical care team treated the man before airlifting him to the John Hunter in a serious but stable condition. Following a public outcry by Swansea MP Yasmin Catley, Transport for New South Wales has released a timetable for the dredging of the Swansea Channel. The local MP used the 1-year anniversary of the state government funding announcement for the dredging work to call for immediate action. Transport for New South Wales says the work is now due to start in September. The state government is spending $1.2 million to revitalise the Cessnock Performing Arts Centre. The money will go toward a major refurbishment of the ground floor, as well as delivering a new retail space for the site. Mayor Jay Saval says an exciting development for local arts and culture.
We'll be starting the works as soon as we're able to. It'll be in the plans over the next year or so to get things up, but we do want to get it happening as soon as possible so we improve the disability access and some of the other things that really need to happen.
2NURFM Sport.
Knights hooker Jaden Brayley says the club's defensive effort will be key to getting the win over arch rivals Manly tomorrow night at Four Pines Park. Brayley believes the side's attack would have been enough to win last week's match against the Rabbitohs, but the players need to work on their defensive pressure.
A little bit more leg speed, and I can spark the boys around me up a little bit more. And line speed's one of the things, but defensive as a whole, we weren't happy with on the weekend. Obviously, can't win a game when you lead 40-odd points.
Meanwhile, prop Daniel Saifiti has ruled himself out of this year's World Cup to focus on the Knights to repay the club for his slow start to the season. The Northern New South Wales football competitions are set to be extended by an extra 2 weeks following heavy rainfall and washouts. It's the second extension so far this season after a week's delay to matches in round 1. Merriweather surfer Jackson Baker has been knocked out of the J-Bay Open in South Africa by fellow Aussie Callum Robson, and Cessnock harness racing trainer Clayton Harmey says Johnston Stepp can surprise from Gate 1 at the Newcastle Paceway tonight. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 1, 6, 17, 20, 26, 33 and 35, and the Powerball is 5. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.